Sergeant at Arms was present here is unable to get connected. This is our 112th meeting, and I welcome everybody for this meeting. All our guests are most welcome. Guests, I want you all to introduce yourself just for a minute. We have Pawan Bhandarkar with us. Pawan, could you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Pawan Bhandarkar, and I hope I'm audible to everybody. So I recently graduated with a bachelor's in engineering, computer science, and right now I'm working for a company in Japan, and I've been working from home for the past few months. And I'm really privileged to be here today. I've known Vidyaka, my neighbor, from a very long time, and in fact, I've also attended one of the prior meetings which was conducted in her house before, and a few faces here are quite familiar to me. In fact, Madam Malini Hebbar, I've seen you not only in the meeting, but I think I've also seen you as a judge to one of the events when I went to competitions around colleges, did my fests and all that. So being a part of Toastmasters has long been on my bucket list, but because of a lot of other commitments, college projects, I was never able to really pull it off. But now that I've graduated and I have some free time in my hands, I thought this is the best time for me to join, because at least during my college, I had opportunities in college to interact, to have sessions where I could interact with an audience. But as I graduated, I found that these opportunities were fewer and fewer. So joining Toastmasters
relates to our thoughts and feelings that exist in the mind and influence our behavior, though we are not aware of them. As an adjective, I would use it in a sentence like this. At some subconscious level, Brian knew he had to log on to this meeting as the Sergeant at Arms. For some reason, my computer seemed to have had a mind of its own and subconsciously refused to do unconsciously refused to do whatever he wanted it to. As a noun, subconscious can also be used. My subconscious works on things while I'm asleep. As an adverb, subconsciously. When people meet online, they subconsciously feel less connected to them than when they meet in person. Please go ahead and use the word subconscious very consciously.
Thank you, Toastmaster Claudette. Now, keeping with the theme for today, the magic of believing, I would like to take you through my magic mantras. The first mantra, the magic of believing in yourself. According to poet Johann Wolfgang, magic is believing in yourself. If you can do it, then you can make anything happen. Take a moment, my dear Toastmasters, to look back at the time that you first joined Toastmasters. Were you the eloquent speaker that you are today? You believed that you could become an orator, and look how far you have come. To our new Toastmasters, know that you have the magic within you, the power to steer your Toastmaster journey the way you want it to go. And on that note, I present to you the first speaker for today, Toastmaster Shweta Kamath. To introduce this budding speaker, Toastmaster Shweta loves yoga, swimming, and anything that keeps her mind and body fit. She believes that her home and her family is where her heart is. She will be evaluated by the enchanting, distinguished Toastmaster Bharti Shevgur, who wishes she could be going to office when there's a lockdown and prays for holidays so as to be able to bunk down at home when there's office. She calls herself Nagarka Nagatka. Toastmaster Bharti, I request you to read the speech objectives.
Thank you, Melora. My speaker, Shweta Kamath, is on her path presentation mastery. Hers is the first speech after her icebreaker. So she would be subconsciously preparing for this even before she started her icebreaker. Shweta has to give a speech of 5 to 7 minutes, receive evaluation and implement that evaluation in her next speech. So Toastmaster Shweta Kamath, all the best to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Toastmaster Shweta Kamath, rural life is real life, urban life is carbon life. Over to you, Toastmaster Shweta Kamath.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The best and the most beautiful things in life are neither seen nor touched, but felt from the experience of the heart. As children, we lived in urban cities like Mumbai and Bangalore. My younger brother and I used to eagerly wait for our summer holidays. Many a times, our parents used to take us to our hometown, Puttur, where my grandmother grew up. Puttur is 50 kilometers from Mangalore. My father too spent his annual vacations in Puttur, in his grandfather's big sprawling bungalow. Even now, after 40 years, he fondly remembers Puttur, which was then a very small village. He vividly remembers his holidays, spending time in the cowsheds, milking the cows, climbing up the trees, pulling water from the well, and climbing up the very famous Birmale Gudda. He too wanted his children to experience village life and the joys and adventures of his childhood. My paternal grandparents spent their lifetime in Puttur in an estate type house. My grandmother was born and brought up in Puttur and in a joint family of 12 brothers and sisters. After her marriage in 1949, she shifted to Mumbai and with a husband who worked in a bank. Every year, my grandparents used to travel from Mumbai to Puttur, and this journey used to take them 3 full days. This journey included 2 train journeys and 1 bus ride through the very famous Charmadi Ghats. The jam-packed bus journey itself was an adventure. Back in the good old days, relatives from all over India used to meet up annually. My great-grandmother was the official head cook, and all her daughters and daughters-in-law would work in tandem to make this event a memorable one. The bonding which the cousins and the other relatives shared back then is something which we miss in our city lives. Children today no longer enjoy the small joys of meeting the kith and kin thanks to the various entertainment gadgets. The human touch has been lost in urbanization. After spending my entire life in cities, I shifted to Puttur after my marriage to Sandeep. My life in Puttur was in total contrast to my life in the cities. It is here in Puttur I experienced true bonding with people. I lived in a big bungalow surrounded by nature in comparison to my concrete life in the cities. Since I've experienced both kinds of lifestyle, I can speak volumes on both lifestyle, having seen the pros and cons. In my opinion, an urban lifestyle makes one indifferent to others' material and emotional needs, since most of us live in a nuclear setup, living in our own selfish worlds. We forget the social obligations we have towards others. I believe urban life is carbon life, literally and figuratively. In the literal sense, an urban lifestyle leaves more carbon footprints, damaging the Earth's ecosystem of land, water, and air, and endangering the rivers, lakes, and oceans. Each day is a carbon copy of the previous day. Of course, this urban lifestyle has given me the best medical and educational facilities. On the other hand, rural life has given me clean and simple living and traditional medical and health treatments using nature's abundance. In a nutshell, if one has to choose between the two lifestyles, it solely depends on an individual. Though consciously, my heart lies in Puttur. To conclude, I'm glad that I could experience both kinds of lifestyle in my lifespan. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shweta Kamath. Coming up next, with many a trick up her sleeves, is the ever-smiling Toastmaster Amita Shetty. Having lived and worked in Dubai for almost 2 decades, Toastmaster Amita is now happily settled in our beautiful coastal city, Mangalore. Her magical moments are when she's dancing, gardening, and traveling. She's waiting to pack her bags and go on a long road trip with her family, she says. To evaluate Toastmaster Amita is the versatile, distinguished Toastmaster Preetham Kamath, a counseling psychologist and a life skills trainer who is passionate about reading and who also loves to travel. To both of you, I'd say, keep traveling and keep believing in the universe. The earth will soon be better and you will be traveling places soon. Toastmaster Preetham Kamath, I request you to read out the speech objectives.
Preetham, you're muted.
Yeah, in that photo of mine, I'm subconsciously looking up and praying. I wonder where you found that one. I'm like, God, save us from the pandemic. Literally saying that. So thank you for that one from the archives. Please burn it. All right. When it comes to Amita's speech today, she's on Pathways Presentation Mastery, Level 1, Project 3. And it is, the title is My Mentors. Let me read the speech objectives. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. The member completing this project is developing an understanding of Toastmasters mentoring. The speech is about a time when the member was a protege. It may be from any time in her life. The member may discuss any aspect of the protege experience. The speech should not be a report or content of the introduction to Toastmasters Welcome Mentoring Project. The time is 5 to 7 minutes, and all the very best, Amita.
To Toastmaster Amita Shetty, speech title, Thank You. Over to you, Toastmaster Amita.
Am I on mute?
Yes, Amita, we can hear you.
Okay. Every journey begins with a single step. So did mine with Toastmasters when I entered a club in 2012. Timid, a bit apprehensive, but determined to move out of my comfort zone and to try out something new. Charming Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, I wish you all a wonderful and a magical evening. The first meeting I attended at Kano Toastmasters Club in Dubai is one of the most memorable and cherished one. When I entered the room, it was full of people and we had a meet and greet session going on. The meeting started in full swing. Watching the people, speakers deliver speech after speech with interesting content left me spellbound. The ease and the warm and friendly nature of the club members put me at ease, and I decided to join this club at that time. As soon as I became a member of the club, I was assigned a mentor, now a DTM. Then she was Toastmaster Marina Satish. She was the president of the club, and I found her very approachable and comfortable to speak to her. Her soft and caring nature drew me towards her like a magnet. I learned from her that Toastmasters is not just about public speaking, but it's also about leadership roles. As under her guidance, I became the Sergeant at Arms the very next year, and I've always been a club officer ever since. She took me under her wings and trained me on different roles that I can take on a Toastmasters meeting, such as the Toastmaster of the day, Topic Master, Grammarian, and various other roles. Because of her, I was able to steadily progress on the speeches, and I could complete my traditional competent communicator within a year. And taking up other, while I'm not delivering any speeches, she ensured I took up other roles, and because of which I could complete my competent communicator role manual as well. She would tell me, her suggestions would be, Amita, look at all but see one. The stage is all yours for 5 to 7 minutes, and make sure that you make the most of it. With her patience and suggestions, I could improve and come out with good speeches. When the table topic session was on, I would always hesitate to go up as a topic speaker. She would always nudge me or gesture me to go up, and I would shyly deny. So to help me overcome this nervousness, she arranged small meetings at her place, and we used to have that discussion, speak on random topics for 2 to 3 minutes. DTM Juliana Rego, who is a member of Melora Toastmasters, was also part of our sessions. My days at Kanu Toastmasters Club has been nothing short of fun, laughter, and full of new experiences. Time went by, and in the year 2014, DTM Marina and I had to part ways. She flew west and I came to east. She migrated to Canada and I relocated to Mangalore. But we are still in touch with each other. Once a Toastmaster, forever a Toastmaster. After settling down in Mangalore, I decided to join a Toastmasters club. And I was trying to look for a club, rather decide which club to join. And as luck would have it, I met DTM Shivani Palika. She introduced me to Melora Toastmasters Club, and the rest is history. At the very first meeting of Melora Toastmasters Club, DTM Dr. Ballal asked me if I would like to be the president. And without batting an eyelid, I said yes. Dr. Ballal's faith in me helped me to be a confident speaker, leader, while serving as the president of my club. Over the last 4 to 5 years, I have realized that mentoring is not just having a role model or a guide, but it's also my responsibility to mentor myself by keeping my eyes, ears, and mind open. I have learned and grown by observing others in our club meetings. TTM Samina Naik and TTM Maria Di Costa have been my mentors and helped me improve my vocabulary. Listening and observing to champion speakers at our clubs with their heart-touching speeches and excellent evaluation is mentoring to me. Toastmaster Sunita, who is not only my friend, but is also mentors my speech, is very polite while giving suggestions and guiding me all through. While I'm grateful to Kanu Toastmasters Club for the cheers, laughter, and goodwill in my initial days as a newbie, I'm equally indebted to DTM Marina Satish for standing behind me and always supporting me as a mentee. At the same time, I'm so fortunate to have received a lot of unwavering love and support from Milagros and Port Towners as well. As I conclude my speech, I would like to share this quote. From some, I seek, and from some, I learn by observing. I bow with respect to all those who have contributed directly or indirectly in their own way through my wonderful and memorable journey as a Toastmaster. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amita. So after that walk down memory lane, we have Toastmaster Pramod Pinto, a real estate businessman currently settled in Bangalore. He adds that he still loves Bangalore people of Mangalore, and the mouth-watering food of Mangalore. And if I get a second life, I would like to be born again in Mangalore and Mangalore alone, he says. Evaluating Toastmaster Pramod Pinto is DTM Phyllis DeCosta, a professor of English passionate about training. Her latest venture is training students for creative writing. She believes that positivity fosters good health, happiness, and camaraderie. DTM Phyllis DeCosta requests you to read out the speech objectives.
Toastmaster Pramod Pinto is on his dynamic leadership pathway. Level 1, Project 2, Evaluation and Feedback. The objective of your speech is to build up your skills as a strategic leader, to present a speech on any topic, receive a feedback, and implement it in the repeat performance. Pramod, just believe in the magic of your performance and subconsciously it will work on you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Good evening, Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Love is a reiterating theme or emotion in our day-to-day life or in our businesses. The success mantra of Hollywood or identity of our country is love, pyar, ishq, mohabbat. Today, I would like to talk to you about love for one's work and love for business. People say one should love what one does. The success or contentment of result of love is passion and obsession towards one's action. I love what I do and I believe in what I do. I just don't do it. I do it right. I buy and sell properties. Subconsciously, I live and breathe properties. Until a couple of years ago, I was established and a sought after realtor in Mangalore. I had a couple of deals under my, I had established as a realtor, well established as a realtor in Mangalore. I saw Mangalore grow from a city to a town to a city. And also fall of many developers and builders. I could say I was almost king of the jungle. Mangalore also gave birth to superstars like superstars in Bollywood movies, Miss Universe, Miss World, and mafias is still a beautiful and a small city. Couple of years ago, due to some personal issues, I had to relocate myself to Bangalore. I was alienated from my family, friends, and so-called familiarities. I was out of my comfort zone. I felt like fish out of water. I was lost and totally devastated. I had to start myself from scratch. It was almost altogether a new journey in Bangalore. Demonetization and also the economic slowdown was not welcoming to the better of real estate, not only in Bangalore, anywhere in the country. I had to learn the geography, moreover, establish contacts and also establish trust. I started small, meeting one person a day and started living one day at a time. Even though I started small, I had the aspiration of that big goal in my life. I started meeting people, about 300 of them in first 6 months of my tenure in Bangalore. I used Uber, Olas, rickshaws, Google, and started traveling around Bangalore and started meeting clients, visited properties, builders, and also met clients. At times, Google used to take me to alleys where there is dead end and open fields where there were no roads after that. Even though I had booked Ola and Uber well in advance, they used to cancel their trip last minute. And even though I had booked it well in advance, and then I had to rely on myself. I reinvented the wheel. I started believing in myself, my strength, and I held on to the goal that I had in mind. I moved on to I moved on to the land. I moved on to the better side of the land acquisition for larger funds, and also different verticals of real estate business. My network started growing. I saw a new dawn in my life. From unorganized or uncivilized manner, I made it a civilized way and opened a new infrastructure, which is a real estate infrastructure company with a couple of co-founders. I would like to say I lost love and I thought that was the end, but I found love again. In life, love and loss come in cycles. You may have love, but you may have love, but you may lose once again, or may get it multiple times. We need to be prepared for it. Excuse me. Where there is love, there ought to be loss and love again. That is the nature of love and is an inevitable thing. This is not only my story, but story of the world, story of most of us, and story of the world. The pandemic has caught us all off guard. We have lost our loved ones, businesses, families, jobs, and also people are battling with depression. I don't want to dwell more on negativity. We need to move on and we need to live with hope. I bet we will find love someday, like the way I found it. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pramod. And for the last speech is the master magician herself, Toastmaster Lyra Pinto, the president of the club. She has always believed in her members, motivating us to get ahead and stay focused. To evaluate Toastmaster Lyra Pinto is the distinguished Toastmaster Malini Hebbar. After 4 decades of teaching, DTM Malini has now moved into the administration arena as principal of Swastika National School. She firmly believes in the idea that the best is yet to be. DTM Malini, I request you to read out the speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Melora. Our fourth speaker, Toastmaster Lyra Pinto, is on a path called Engaging Humor. This is the last project of Lyra in this particular path. With this, she would be completing the path, Engaging Humor. And this particular project is leading in a voluntary organization. And for this project, she has to prepare a speech on her experiences as a leader, the skills needed by a leader, and she has to share with her audience some aspects of her experience as a leader. Now the speech will be for 7 to 9 minutes. Over to Toastmaster of the Day, Melora Pais, for the title of the speech.
Toastmaster Lyra Pinto, the title, A Leader, Not a Preacher. Over to you, Toastmaster Lyra Pinto.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Melora Pais. I can be heard right here. Timer, please don't time me right now. I'll have to say something. As aptly read out by my evaluator, VTM Malini Hebar, I'm going to give a speech first, and later Toastmaster Geeta Pereira will be helping me in sharing the slides. Toastmaster Bo, timer, you can time me now. Good evening, Port Towners and guests. Do not get me wrong today if I may sound like a preacher or a teacher or a bragger, but definitely I'm going to speak as a leader. A leader is just not the center of attraction, but the epicenter of action. Said not by me, but by Deepak Menon, the past international president of Toastmasters, while he was interviewed as his view of a leader. He further added that a leader is like an inverted pyramid with the president or the leader sitting at the bottom. And I truly agree with Deepak Menon because according to me, a leader is the one who's leading from behind or the rear, and he just like a shepherd tending his flock. When I took over as a leader or the captain of this prestigious ship, the Club Port Town, I had no clue as to what a president's role was like. Of course, I knew that I have to retain the member retention, make members speak and evaluators evaluate, and nothing more. But to my fortune, it was DTM Malini Hebbar who briefed me on steering the wheels of Toastmasters. Was my sail smooth, dear Toastmasters? No, not at all. In every organization, said my husband, there are ups and downs, there are hiccups, challenges. At the end of the day, there is fun time and there is light. I first focused or kept in mind the core values of Toastmasters, that is integrity, dedication to excellence, helping the members as a service to members, and respect to an individual. And I would like to add two more of my values, that is gratitude or acknowledgement and recognition. The open house, dear Toastmasters, brought us a heavy response, I would say overwhelming response. 19 members, there's almost 50% joined, and it was like a value added to already advanced Toastmasters Club. Now, the question was, how do I go about? Why will I, should I? A lot of these thoughts flooded my mind, and subconsciously, they ingrained in me. Coming to my help was my VPA, Toastmaster Amita, who guided these newbies to get into or roll into pathways. And thereon, I went on one-on-one, talking to them, texting them, seeing the comfort, putting my trust in them and their trust in me. And I wanted them to be comfortable. My only fear, dear Toastmasters, was that with these online meetings, which were from one, I had to start or increase to two because of the members rush into our club. I thought, will I be able to hold such meetings? The fear was, will there be a decline in the membership participation in the club? But thankfully, all thanks to the Almighty, the online meetings gave way to offline meetings. And you all, dear Toastmasters, are a witness to this offline meetings, which were a gala festival, or as Malini said, every meeting of yours hosted by the host was as good as an installation. Yes, dear Toastmaster, today we are at the pinnacle. We have climbed the cliff. It's all because of you, your consistency, your love, your dedication, your support from all over, which has made us see the bright light. Today, if at all we're basking in the glory with gold as our status in the Hall of Fame, touching 40 points as of yesterday and much more, it's all because of you, dear Toastmasters. Whatever we are today, I owe it to you all. Of course, a leader has to lead, but if the flock doesn't fall in place, is it possible, dear Toastmasters? It is not at all possible. If your actions can inspire others to grow big, to turn more, to become more, definitely you are a leader. I would quote Ralph Emerson, who says, do not take the path which leads you, but instead go where there's no path and leave a trail. So Toastmasters, now is the time for me to share the screen. Toastmaster Geeta, will you help me in sharing the screen, please? Geeta, can you unmute? Bo, you can start timing me now. Here is a picture of the picnic, dear Toastmasters. Hope all of you remember. We have a CGD, DVD, we have our AD director of BF2, and we have our member's spouse with us, and of course, yours truly. These were my evaluators, dear Toastmasters. Our AD Jyotika Shetty, our CGD, our own member, DTM Savita Salians, our Lady Shashikaru, Dr. DTM Hima Urmila Shetty, and the president of Ignition Toastmasters, Sandhya Nayak. Here is the evaluation by Toastmaster Jyotika Shetty. The officer excelled at delivering her promises and taking the club to greater heights. PTAT Club became President Distinguished by December 2020. The officer was good at motivating the members to achieve the education goals. And what does DTM Urmila Shetty say? She says, Lyra is very proactive, motivates her team, and looks into the blueprint for each meeting. She spurs members individually to complete their projects and keeps in touch with district officers and other clubs. Her energy and keen interest keeps team and members activated. She has become tech savvy and has grown as a leader par excellence. This is the evaluation by Toastmaster Sandhya Nayak, where I was a mentor. Toastmaster Lyra was a mentor for the Ignition Toastmasters in the year 1920. She was exemplary in her role. She attended all the meetings of the club and gave her feedback and guidance. She was a mentor to members who needed guidance in writing and delivering their speeches. She helped new office bearers with valuable advice on undertaking their duties. And our own member CGT DTM Savita says, cheers. Lyra, as president of Port Town Advanced Toastmasters Club, has been an extremely committed and dedicated leader. As the president, she worked ceaselessly with a single-minded purpose to ensure quality meetings for our members, be it online or offline. Spunky President was able to organize a super successful open house and was victorious in bringing in new members, raising the club's membership by nearly 50%. Our peppy president juggles many hats as mentor, sponsor of new clubs, motivating, guiding new members to take up roles. Here are the awards galore, dear Port Towners, which are all yours. Spirita 121, Division F Super 7 Award, Early Achievers Award, Open House Award, Welcome Back Champion Award, Welcome Back Happy Place Award, Smedley Award, Talk Up Toastmasters Award, President Distinguished 10 out of 10 points, Hall of Fame Gold attaining 40 points, Beat the Clock Award is yet to strike, dear Toastmasters. And with this, I would say I rest my case as I complete my part in engaging humor. And here is a memory of the last meeting. The memory is vivid, and let's have the happy times again. Over to the Toastmaster of the day, Melora Pais. Thank you, Geeta Pereira.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lyra. Unconsciously or subconsciously, I happen to describe you with the same words that were used by most of your evaluators about you motivating us and guiding us. Thank you to all our speakers for those tantalizing speeches. Now, on behalf of the club's photographer, may I request all of you to turn on your cameras for a group photograph. Photographer Radhika Adappa.
Geeta is helping us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, done with the photographs. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Geeta. So moving on, my second mantra for today that I would like to share with you is the magic of believing in your family. Your family may not always be the ones you are related to by blood. For me, I have found a family here in my roommate, a sister, and a good company in her cats, and we believe totally in each other's strengths when we are away from home. Now, families believe in its members even when one is at its worst. So when the going gets tough and it feels like all is lost, let's reach out to our families and believe that with them beside us, we can make magic happen. And who would be a better testimony to this than the dynamic Toastmaster, Trisha D'Souza, the table topics master for today.
Melora, can I
Toastmaster?
interrupt?
Yes.
Melora, can I interrupt?
Yes, ma'am.
Please ask for the timer for the report and announce that the link, the voting link for the speakers is on the chat box.
Timer, Toastmaster Bo, can we have the timer's report, please?
Yes, of course. Good evening, everyone. Toastmaster Shweta Kamath took 4 minutes 45 seconds. Toastmaster Amita Shetty took 6 minutes 28 seconds. Toastmaster Pramod Pinto took 6 minutes 56 seconds. And lastly, Toastmaster Lyra Pinto took 9 minutes 5 seconds. So all the speakers qualified.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bo. A kind reminder to everybody that the voting links have been sent to us on the group as well as in the chat box here. Request you all to vote for the prepared speakers. So we move on to the table topics. I hand over the stage to the table topic master, Trisha D'Souza.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Melora. Good evening, dear Toastmasters, and I hope you're ready to have a small little break. I was elated when Melora announced the theme as magic and believing, and it got me thinking, what is it that helps and is one of the most effective ways of reinforcing our beliefs and especially putting a spring in our step at the same time? For me, I realized it is music and musical lyrics, whether it has you grooving all through the day or works subconsciously on your mind. It's a win-win situation anyways. So I thought about it, and my subject for today will be musical lyrics from inspirational and fun songs. Whether you choose to share your story about it or the meaning of the lyrics itself, the beauty of it is varied perception. So we can go about it in many different ways. So let's begin. I named it as PTAT Beats. Is everyone able to see the screen?
No, Melora.
One minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah.
Yes, Trisha, we can see it now.
Yes, perfect. I have named it as PTAT Beats and I'm very excited about this. All right, so who's ready to go as our first table topic speaker? Anyone to volunteer, please, because I don't want to call out names for this.
I think Pawan can go. Pawan, our guest.
Madam, I think I'll wait this one out because I want to be familiar with how a tabletop
Okay.
topic goes at
Yes,
first.
yes, yes, Pawan.
If you don't mind. Yeah,
No,
thank
no,
you.
no,
Thank you.
surely
Yes.
not. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I don't want to mention names, but if anyone could choose to volunteer, that would be great.
Because it will prolong, Trisha. Just wait. Otherwise, you just call out.
Okay, all right.
Someone who doesn't have a role today? Anyone present?
Yeah, we have quite a few.
Can we have Toastmaster Brian? Is he around? Because he couldn't speak earlier today. And I'm sure he...
Yes, yes. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. All right. I'm going to share with you.
No, I just want to tell you that there are internet issues. I'm not sure whether the whole thing will come through clearly.
All right. All right. Noted.
If that's okay, fine. I'm
That's
okay.
okay because as of now it's okay. So possibly for 1 minute it'll be fine.
Yes.
Okay. This is your topic. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. One of the famous songs by Kelly Clarkson. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
To my mind and subconsciously, I understand that even if it kills you, you become stronger in your afterlife. And if you're still alive on this earth, the hardship or the near-death experience can make you stronger. Stronger to face death in future and face whatever comes your way in whichever way it comes. Now, what doesn't kill you that makes you stronger? Maybe adversity, financial hardships, social hardships. Sometimes you're not born with all the talents that everybody has, or my topic master has today. So much of talent. Maybe not all of us are blessed with that. And when you compare yourself to another, you find that you are lagging behind. And that kind of kills you. But it also makes you stronger, determined to understand where your weaknesses are and try to grow in future. I'm not sure, I can't see the timer, but anyway. So what doesn't kill you always makes you stronger. It's not just the onion or the protein or the Horlicks. I heard our Toastmaster Amita Shetty, she loved Horlicks, I believe, and it made her very strong. But Horlicks does make you strong, but not like adversity does. And this is what I'd like to say. And as I said in the beginning, and I'll end it that way, if it does kill you, you become much stronger in the afterlife. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Brian, and thank you for the compliment as well. Can we have our second table topic speaker, please? Anyone to volunteer? Otherwise, I'm going to check for the participants.
I'll do Trisha. Geeta Pereira.
Geeta, ma'am. Yes, all right. This is your subject. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wild enough. A very famous song, first sung by Diana Ross.
So dear Toastmasters, good evening. I think nothing in life is so tough that you cannot aim higher than a mountain or lower than a valley or a river. Today, we are facing the largest tower or a mountain, that is the coronavirus, which has gone out of control. It is a huge wall which we are facing, and it is so deep, it is deeper than the deepest ocean, and it is longer and wider than the largest river. But today India We are all geared up to face this. So subconsciously, we need to prepare ourselves. We need to believe in the magic of believing in ourselves first, believing in the superpower, believing in God, and believing in someone else. Only when you believe in the magic of this, we can conquer anything which is higher or lower or wider. So according to Diana Ross, I am a firm believer and of magic, and this magic will take, with this magic, I can overcome all the troubles in life. Over to you, Trisha.
That was very, very, very beautifully put, Toastmaster Geeta Pereira. Can we have our next volunteer? Our next volunteer.
If that's okay.
Yes. I'm sorry, who was that?
It's me, Pavan. I'm kind of
Pavan,
messing
all
around.
right, Pavan, that's great. Yes, yes, of course. All right. This is your subject. That is, yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful word. Louis Armstrong.
Okay. So I can just start, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So the first thing that comes to my mind when I read this topic is the crisis that we're going through right now, with the pandemic having messed up all our lives to an unfathomable degree. And even throughout these tough times, even though the media is everywhere we turn, on any news channel or any social media, we see all this negativity being thrown at us. We start to question the world around us, and we start to think, oh, what a Stygian nightmare we're living in. But even then, from time to time, we read these success stories. For instance, a couple of days ago, I read a story about how an 82-year-old woman overcame the virus through a technique called proning. And we also hear about all of these. I've also come across some of these videos on the internet where doctors are celebrated when they come out and for their contribution throughout the world against this pandemic. And I think all of this brings us together as a species. And if nothing else, it shows us how we stand united against this virus. We're all in this together and we're all fighting together. And I believe that this is what signifies a beautiful world, a wonderful world. So with this, I would like to hand it back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pavan. That was great. All right, let's have our next volunteer.
Trisha, I will go.
Yes, ma'am. All right, this is the next subject. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb by Miley Cyrus.
Thank you, Trisha, for this wonderful song. Though I don't remember hearing it because she's probably not of my generation. Though I know who she is as a singer, I would say the lyrics does resonate a lot with me because whatever it is, they say that there's no power more powerful than believing in yourself. And this I happen to see when our very own club member, a mentor, Toastmaster Phyllis, having met her, I realized the amount of unlearning that I need to do, because she could really make me see the power of positivity, or the power of believing in yourself, and would inspire people to believe in the unbelievable. Yes, it is not about how far you get or about what you achieve in life. After all, once you achieve, you feel elated when you achieve that. And then after that, what? There is no end to that. Then it becomes a rat race. Most of us are bogged down because we try to not introspect and see what is it that we really want. What is it that would make us happy? which mountains we would like to climb or which path we would like to take. So until you take some time to introspect, see the magic, stop, take some pause, look around and smell the coffee or the flowers, you would never ever realize what you want in life. And like they said, the magic is inside you. So getting anywhere or going anywhere, if you are not mentally happy, it's the same everywhere. So first find peace in yourself, find magic within yourself. And this does resonate with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Radhika ma'am. You had me at stop to smell the coffee. I think that's all I need to know. All right, we have our last table topic. If anyone is willing to take it up, come on, last one.
I'll take it up, Trisha.
Oh, thank you, Molly ma'am. This is your subject. The show must go on. I'll face it with a grin. I'm never giving in. By the famous Queen.
Yes, the show must go on. I face it with a grin. I'm never giving in. And I think that's the mantra I live with. Having gone through this year as a division director, there are so many events that we put up in spite of the pandemic. We put up the awards gala, where though there was no in-person coronation program last year, the division conference, we wanted to make sure that all our award winners, consciously and subconsciously, we wanted everyone to feel that, yes, we have won these awards, because it takes a journey of roughly around 3 to 4 years to become a DTM. And we wanted everyone to enjoy that journey, the awards journey. And so we made sure that the show went on. We had a debate contest this year. It was something new, out of the blue. Thanks to Jyotika, she brought the concept, we took it, we went ahead with it and made sure that it was a success. And just last week, we had the division conference, thanks to Bharti. She put up the show so well. Though there was thunder, there was lightning, there were outages, the show went on. And this is what we Toastmasters of Mangalore are made of, that where we don't worry about any problems that come up, whether it's the pandemic, whether it's the technology problem, we make sure that the show goes on. And over to you, Trisha, to take it forward from here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Molly ma'am. I can truly say that in Toastmasters, this is one thing that I have definitely learned, that the show will go on no matter what. Even during Anargya, when there was a small technical difficulty, how Kavita ma'am took over the part and it went seamlessly and it was really done well. Thank you so much for participating and everyone for being here. I hope this gave you a little bit of sunshine and a little more magic in believing, as I wanted the table topics to bring smiles on your faces and also correlate with our theme for the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Melora.
Thank you, Toastmaster Trisha. I think it definitely correlated with our theme and it did definitely bring in a lot of smiles. May I request the timer, Toastmaster Bo, to read out the timer's report?
Yes. Just make sure. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, Bo. Faintly, though.
Okay, thank you. Toastmaster Brian Fernandez took 1 minute 39 seconds. Toastmaster Geeta Pirara took 1 minute 29 seconds. Pawan took 1 minute 15 seconds. Toastmaster Radhika Adappa took 2 minutes 13 seconds. And DTM Molly Chowdhury took 1 minute 44 seconds. So all the speakers took.
Okay, thank you, Bo. I guess what Toastmaster Bo said was all the speakers have qualified. So the link has been posted in the chat box and also on our WhatsApp groups. Request all of you to vote for the Table Topics Master. So the third mantra for me would be the magic of believing in your friends. If this pandemic has taught us something, it is that life is uncertain. Our plans will not always work out the way we want it to. There'll be many ups and downs, and quite often we might find ourselves lonely, stuck up away from home. But then we can always have wonderful friends. The perfect witness to this statement would be this picture that came up on our group just a few days ago, stirring up so many nostalgic emotions. And even for those of us who are not in this picture, I think consciously or unconsciously, it reminded us of all our friends who have our backs, friends who never give up on us, friends who might laugh at us, but will always want the best for us, just like our evaluators at Toastmasters. So may I now call upon the general evaluator, Toastmaster Frana Pinto, to present the evaluations.
Thank you, Melora. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Hear you.
Okay. Now, as the general evaluator, I have 3 roles to play. To look at the meeting and give feedback, to thank the role players, and to evaluate the evaluators. I have 3 don'ts. I don't have to report on the meeting as it's already taken so long and you've been listening in. I don't have to talk of the highlights, and I don't have to highlight myself. I have to just give an evaluation. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, our benevolent leaders and assiduous audience. Greetings to you. Let me start that it is not good enough if it isn't good enough. It has to become better. And the better cannot be good enough if it cannot be the best. So as the general evaluator, I will just mirror different roles. Before I evaluate the rest of the meeting, I call upon the evaluators, DTM Bharati Shevgur, to evaluate Shweta Kamath.
Thank you, General Evaluator Prana. Toastmaster Shweta Kamath, your speech, rural life is real life, urban life is carbon life, felt like a train ride to picturesque Puttur through the verdant Western Ghats. For that alone, I have to say thank you very much. The word pictures that you brought up as you were speaking, Shweta, be it the milking of the cows or the Birmale Gudda, brought up word pictures for us, brought up visuals for us that felt like a balm to our disturbed souls. It made us feel cheerful. Thank you very much for that. Now, if the audience or the listeners think that this is a fairly simple speech on urban life versus city life, and of course, rural life versus urban life, of course, rural life wins, it was not that simple. Because from your narration of how you used to journey towards Puttur, you went into human touch and bonding, which are more complex concepts. But more than that, Shweta, my appreciation to you goes out to the fact that you brought up carbon footprints and endangering the rivers, lakes, and oceans. I think you raised the value of your speech when you took it from the simple to the complex. And that itself is a sign of a thinking person. Full appreciation to you for that. Now, if I were to look at the delivery of your speech, I would start from my appreciation to you for your efforts to be doing the right thing, where you checked, should I stand here? Should I be sitting? What should I be doing? I reached out to you as you were saying that, because I thought this is a sign of a leader. She's trying to do everything correctly. Now, if I were to give you suggestions about how you can improve your speech, I have just one, Shweta, at this point. I am not going to speak about how you use the space, etc., because this is an online meeting, and my sympathies go out to you for starting your Toastmasters journey online, though I know that you will come out stronger for it. So my suggestion to you would be on voice pitch. If you can introduce variation in your voice pitch, especially in today's speech, let's say when you're going into bonding. Now that's a tough, complex concept. You can change your voice pitch. There are many other places where if you check your script, you can change it, but you have to plan for it. It may not come automatically. So that is one suggestion I have to give to you. The smaller things that I noticed where perhaps you use something like to conclude in your script, maybe you can avoid that because it sounds like an answer written in an exam when you say in conclusion. Also your title, Shweta, if we cannot give out the idea in the title, it will add to the audience awaiting what is there in the speech. But these are very small things. You have given us, Shweta, a logical, cheerful and meaningful speech. And I wish you all the best in your Toastmasters journey. Give us more speeches and better speeches that we will enjoy, just as we enjoyed yours today. Over to you, General Evaluate.
Thank you, Bharati. I now move on to TM Amita Shetty's speech to be evaluated by Preetam Kamath, Toastmaster Preetam Kamath.
Thank you very much, Rana. When we enter a new organization, we are consciously or actually subconsciously looking for a mentor. In Toastmasters, we have a long history of supporting and nurturing each other. So mentors offer encouragement and guidance. And Amita, it was very apt of you to begin your speech by first naming your primary mentor. You explained very eloquently about the impact of having such a mentor in your life and how supportive she has been in your journey. Now, Toastmasters also says that coaching and mentoring are two different things. That mentors can become coaches, okay? But coaches are not mentors. So mentoring, like you expressed in your speech, is a very personal involvement, long-term and helpful, not only in the journey of Toastmasters, but life itself. So your speech was well structured in the fact that you brought out not only your primary mentor, but you also spoke about all the other mentors, about your journey into Bangalore, from Dubai to Bangalore, and finding a club here. And you acknowledged every single person that made your journey in Toastmasters fruitful. That sense of gratitude that you kept in your speech, that you delivered at every single time, I'm sure all your mentors would have been very proud to hear their name from your lips. Now, in your speech, you also espoused that that amount of vocal variety. So whenever you spoke about a mentor, your vocal variety changed. All right. Your gestures, now, Amita, you're a dancer. So your gestures were par excellence. You use that stage. I mean, it's so difficult in an online platform. I'm not even standing here, but you stood there, used your gestures so very well, and very consciously made an effort to connect with your audience. So kudos to you for using that space very, very well. Now, there is one more thing that I would like to add here about the impact. In terms of impact, I believe it's very difficult for us to make eye contact with our audience on this platform. But you very well looked into the camera. That way, each and every one of us felt that we are with you. Now, I have to make a few suggestions because I'm consciously expected to do this. So maybe this would also help you in delivering flawless speeches, Amita. Your speech could have greatly benefited if you had included a couple of heartwarming anecdotes which would have personalized the speech. It was a thank you speech, but we missed on a couple of those maybe heartwarming or even funny anecdotes which would have helped us connect even better. We also have this tendency to want perfection in our life and perfection in our speeches as well. So there was this couple of times that you looked at your paper, you slowly peeked at your paper, which was something that we will not miss. And I have to consciously not miss that particular aspect and point it out to you. It is indeed a very, very well crafted and very well delivered speech. I recommend that you Practice your speeches more so that you don't have to look at the paper at all. A well-delivered speech, Amita. Wishing you the best in your future speeches, and hopefully you will also be a world-class mentor, the few lucky ones who are going to be your mentees. Thank you very much and all the very best. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Preetam. I now move on to the speech made by Pramod Pinto. DTM Phyllis DeCosta will evaluate him.
Listening to you, Toastmaster Pramod, was a breath of fresh air to me, as you proved that you are a Toastmaster who believes in the magic of yourself. You had a smooth sail all through, though internet glitches were perhaps responsible for getting you across very clearly to the audience. Despite troubled waters, you moved on. I appreciate the way you chose your topic, love and loss, and you bravely rode on through the journey of your life, fearlessly telling us that love and loss is a part of life. And you made sure that you made that point very clear. The way you closed your eyes to recall something that you had forgotten was very touching indeed. However, practice makes us perfect. And that's what I tell myself. And I would like to tell you the same, so that when you redo the same speech, you will practice as much as possible to make your speech really well worded, clear, and without any glitches, memory glitches. Your topic, again, I must say, was profound. You were frank and forthright. And that was, again, something I appreciated. Your positivity of expression helped you roll away and express the strength that is within you. Since you were seated, you were not able to use your hand gestures, which say a lot, because gestures say more than words can express. However, you bravely rode through despite memory failure. You painstakingly structured your speech from start to completion. You expressed yourself fearlessly about your love and loss journey, something that transformed you and can transform anyone. Where there is love, there can be loss. The pace variation you try to work on, but tonal variation was something that would help you fare better. All the best, Toastmaster Pramod. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Phyllis. Now we move on to the last speech of Lyra Pinto to be evaluated by DTM Malini Hebar.
Thank you, General Evaluator Frana, Toastmaster Frana. Lyra Pinto, a little while ago, when I read out the purpose statements of your speech, I referred to you as Toastmaster Lyra. But now I refer to you as President Lyra, because your speech was on your experiences as the president of this prestigious Port Town Advanced Toastmasters Club. Now, I felt that it was a great coincidence, because even as your presidential tenure is coming to an end, Your path also has come to an end. It is as though you have conspired to see that the two paths now in leadership, in Toastmasters track, you have leadership track, you have the communication track. And it is as though you conspired to see that these two tracks went hand in tandem. So congratulations on that, Lyra. Now, that is what happened before your speech this evening. What is impactful about your speech this evening? I must tell you that the content of the speech was impactful because you referred to the acronym RISE, about the core values of Toastmasters: respect, integrity, service, and excellence. And integrity is a catchword there. And even in your speech, integrity was the key word, because you placed before us 360-degree evaluation of 4 of your evaluators. Well, they said nice things about you, but it is not necessary that all come up with nice things. But when you show the courage that you would place before the audience 360-degree evaluation, that is the true quality of a leader. So congratulations on that. And this evening, especially, I found your language reaching a newer height, because you see, you had wordplay. You had preacher, teacher, action, passion, and you ended with an apt quote. But what I liked the best was the metaphor of the ship that you used when you spoke about your role as a leader. Because you see, the metaphor of a ship is an apt metaphor because it brings to one's mind the turbulence that the ship goes through. Now, the turbulence that the ship goes through is meant for the ship. The ship is meant for the ocean, and it is not meant for the harbor. And a great leader like you is meant for all the associated problems that would be there in leadership. So congratulations on taking up this position and doing justice to this position, bringing to PTAT 11 coveted awards. Congratulations. Is there something that I want to tell you by way of improvement? Yes. And when I say this, you will have this deja vu feeling at the subconscious level, because I'm on the same path. And when I made my speech, you told me that there could have been a touch of humor. Is it tit for tat? Definitely not. It's not the question of nemesis setting in, but it is the question of saying that as a founder, Ralph Smedley said, the best learning is when you have humor in times of enjoyment. So you could have added humor. Now, standing ovation for completing your path, and I will stand on the chair for completing your leadership role. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Malini. It's now that I have to look at the general meeting as it took place. The prayer, we were not able to get through because of technical glitches, nor the Brian to give us the introductory remarks as the Sergeant at Arms. He's always so well prepared that it was a sad thing that it didn't take place today. But in this day and age, we have to worry with these technical errors which we cannot avoid. Next, before I do this, I have to call in the R counter, Veera Katpitya. Smiling Veera, welcome. And with the R's of all of us to be noted.
And also the voting link to be announced.
Yes.
Voting link for the test
put
evaluator
has been put up in the chat box as well as a group, Rana.
Yes, put up on the chat box and the group. Please vote for the best evaluator.
And the timer, time taken is not mentioned.
Timer, Bo, can you give us the time taken before they vote? Bo, are you
Sure,
there?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. DTM Bharati Shilpu took 3 minutes 26 seconds. DTM Preetham Kamath took 3 minutes 13 seconds. DTM Phyllis DeCosta took 3 minutes 27 seconds. And DTM Malini Heba took 3 minutes 26 seconds. So all the evaluators
Are they qualified? You can't be heard.
Yes, they are qualified.
All qualified?
All speakers are qualified. Yes.
Now that the voting is done, I get back to the R counter, Veera Katpitya, to give this the R's.
Yes, Prana, thank you so much. Audible?
Yes.
Okay. So for guests who are not aware of the duties of an R counter, I am from the CRPF. And I note down your clutch words, repetitions, pauses, and filters and fillers. Today, fortunately or unfortunately, I hardly had anything to do. I start with Shweta. Absolutely no R's. She just had two tiny stutters. That also because I was trying to find something to write. Amita, flawless. Pramod, you just had maybe 2 or 3 small pauses. Maybe that was because of the internet. We were not able to hear you very clearly throughout. Lyra, you had so much of passion today. You forgot all the filler words and ahs, oohs, ums, nothing. Perfectly smooth speech. Trisha, Brian, Geeta, Pawan, absolutely no ahs, ums. Radhika, I love you. You're the only one who made my, at least I felt, okay, I have some work to do today. You had 12 hours in your speech. Molly, 2 tiny stutters and 3 R's. Bo started all his 3 evaluations with a so, which is, I think, a young thing to do. It's to do with his age, so I don't think we should count that. Bharti, surprisingly, today you had 4 hours. So I thought, oh, Bharti's coming. I'm not going to even think of it. But no, today you had 4 hours. Pritham, today you had very few okays. You had just 2 okays. You usually have quite a few of them, but today you had only 2 okays. Phyllis, as usual, smooth. Malini, you have these now. You had 3 of them today. That they were just transition nows, but I think I could bring it up for you so that you are aware of it. There were 3 very pronounced nows between when you had the transition. So my job done very easily today. Thank you so much, all of you, and back to Prana.
Thank you so much, Veera. Your bright smile brightens our day despite the hours. Hours. Okay. Now to the grammarian, Claudette Narona, for her report on the meeting. The word subconscious, let me use it at least now.
Yes. Most of the participants use the word for the day, subconscious. So I'm not even going to tell you who did not, because most did. I'm going to talk about the nice usage of language, and also some of the errors that could be rectified in no particular order and without really specifying who said what, because there were some repetitions, and I think maybe people can rectify their language without really knowing that who the person who made the errors were. There was the Toastmaster of the day was very clear, succinct in whatever she said. Things like walk down memory lane, camaraderie. I think the word camaraderie sometimes needs to be pronounced in that manner, and there were words that ended with VE, where many people, instead of saying VE, say U. Instead of love, they say love, or 12, just say 12. But please hit that consonant pretty hard. One of the things that was said was her marriage to, instead of saying that, could say she got married to someone. And then back in the good old days was something nice, and working in tandem, kith and kin, nuclear setup, urban life, because I liked Shweta's carbon life and the carbon copy of the previous day. That was a nice usage of language there. Amita, cherished ones, full swing, like magic, not come out, but come up with something, and shy away from, that was nice. and not really relocated in, but really relocated to. Pramod, because of Wi-Fi glitches, was not very clear, but I like the fact that he said, I live and breathe properties. Alienated, that was a nice word to use. And I had to start myself. You don't need to say start myself from scratch, just start from scratch. Aspiration was quite nice, what he said. Alleys where there is a dead end, but alleys that ended in a dead end or whatever, you could say that too. Believing in my strength, that was good. And love and loss comes in cycles. That was a nice way to express it. Inevitable, off guard, don't want to dwell on negativity. All those are good expressions. And Lyra said the epicenter of action, that's what a leader needs to be. Of course, I think she was quoting somebody else. Good fortune, there are hiccups, then value added, decline in participation, that was nice. And at the pinnacle, and then par excellence. Now the par excellence, since I personally feel it is a French expression, try to say it that way. There are people dispute that, but that's fine. Bharati said things like the verdant Western Ghats, balm on our disturbed souls, and word that I think many people tend to make an error word is delivery. They say delivery when it is delivery. It's not del, but dil. And come out stronger, that was good. Logical, cheerful, and meaningful. That sounded good. Pritham said eloquent and espoused and personalized anecdotes, all that was good. Phyllis, a breath of fresh air despite troubled waters, without memory glitches, all good expressions. You could fare better, that sounded nice. And I think Bose said, how many have qualified? It is not how many are qualified, but how many have qualified. Conspired to see that, Malini, that was good. Hand in hand, in tandem, that was a lovely expression. Reaching out to newer heights, reaching a newer height, not, I think it's reaching newer heights and not reaching a newer height. Then turbulence, associated problem, and nemesis. Trisha used words like reinforcing, varied perception, seamlessly. Radhika Radhika said stuff like lyrics do. Lyrics does, I think that was just an error when you're speaking, sometimes you do make these errors. Bogged down, introspect. Brian used words like adversity and lagging behind. Geeta, unfathomable degree, negativity thrown at us. Together as a species. Radhika also said stuff like resonate, and Molly said mantra that I live by, but not live with. It's actually live by is a mantra. Veera, repetitious, prana, mirror. I think everybody did an excellent job with their language, and even Pavan, it was a pleasure to listen to you, and we hope to hear more of you in future. Thank you, Frana, I'm done. Evaluator.
Thank you, Lali.
General.
For that extensive evaluation. Your word for the day was used by many. Thank you so much. Now I get back to the beginning of the meeting, the prayer. Due to technical glitches, Anu, who had prepared very well, was not able to say the prayer, but I heard her saying something about friends battling, and Lyra, who stepped in, did a wonderful job at the last minute, and was happy. We think we're all planning to go back to happy times. We had 4 speakers today, Sweta, Amita, Pramod, and Lyra. Each one of them did very well on their prepared speeches. I would just like to say a line of each one. Sweta said, every journey begins with a single step. Amita, from some I seek to learn and from some I learn by observation. Pramod, lost love, but you move on with hope. And Lyra, your journey as a leader, as you say, you begin with no knowledge and now have become maybe a mentor to many. Not only have you given us your leadership with your warmth and affection, but you have also given us the value of time, which you kept reminding us today, and the other values of friendship, of love, of warmth, which are really nice to emulate. The word for the day was given by Lolly, which was subconscious. Claudette, you did a wonderful job of going through what the people had said and the good usages. Melora Pais, young and it was very nice to have the magic of believing. But the moment you sent me that, I Googled it and it led me to a book, which I'll come at the end of the meeting. So in your mind, actually the magic of believing is in your family, in your friends, and in the people around yourself and yourself. It was wonderfully done. Thank you for that fresh air and nice, very well presented. You know, you young people, you have the advantage of the technical knowledge, and that makes your presentation so much better. That's, I should say also of Trisha, who gave the table topics. Trisha, the music and the words that you chose led the table topic people to go into such kind of value speeches that it almost sounded like prepared speeches. The first one, Brian, you did so well, Brian. You said, actually, you gave us so many things to think about. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and how adversity makes you stronger. And if it does kill you, you become stronger in life, in an afterlife. Okay. Our next speaker was deeper than the ocean, wilder the magic of life. You made it possible. Higher than the mountains, deeper than the oceans. But yet we'll be overcome everything in life. Was that Geeta? I think that was Geeta.
Yes.
Pavan, you said we'll all fight to build a new world in which we'll have the human species to help each other to move on. That was very nice. And our last speaker was okay, when I find it, I'll get to it. Now to the evaluators, Bharati, you did a wonderful job by taking the train ride, by going from simple and then to going into the complex. It was very well done, Bharati. I liked your evaluation and feedback, but you could have added a quote and used the word for the day. I don't know whether you did or you didn't, but I didn't seem to hear it. You really did well, Bharati. Congratulations on your evaluation. Preetam Kamath, your feedback was good and there was an excellent evaluation. You did justice to the speaker. You pointed out different points and you used conscious and subconscious and conscious over and over again so that, you know, the word also made a lot of meaning in your evaluation. Thank you, Preetam. Phyllis, you amazed me by the way you think and your clarity of thought. I think you really, by mentoring people, you have become a wonderful person to evaluate people and, you know, to thank you and congratulate you for the wonderful evaluation that you did. You let Pramod on with the values.
You told me to switch off this camera.
Last one was Malini, double or triple DTM, I think. Malini has a wonderful smile and with so many decades of teaching, to her credit, it was really nice to hear you and to hear you praise, I think, your classmate, Lyra, as she rose above values and amazingly kept her integrity and values over her 360-degree rise. So it was very nice all the evaluators. We were so happy that you gave everyone the feedback as they needed, the good and the bad. And then I come to the other role takers of the meeting. The R counter, Virya Katpitya, who did a very good job. The timer, Bhopal, who had difficulty in getting to us, but still it was there. And the Zoom master, I don't know whether you had any problems, but God bless you. We all seem to have gone through the meeting very well. So one and all, actually, as I wanted to tell you, the moment I zoomed that, I got into a book which is written by The Magic of Believing, which I believe is a bestseller, and it sold millions of copies. It is 192 pages long by Claude Bristol. I recommend it to you all to read it. I haven't read it myself, but apparently it does good to believing in yourself. So I conclude with this quote, which says, the magic of believing is that the thought, which is the original source of all wealth, all success, all material gain, all discoveries, and all achievements. So believe in yourself, Toastmasters, and you will all reach great heights. And read the book by Claude M. Bristol, The Magic of Believing. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Frana. Just to add to what Toastmaster Frana was talking about the book, the PDF version is also available online free. So if any of you are interested to read the book, I guess you can even use the PDF version. So for my last mantra for the day, believe in new beginnings. Like the very famous quote says, every cloud has a silver lining. Whatever you might be going through in your life at the moment, believe that it is not permanent. Stay strong, conquer stronger and bolder. On this note, I thank all the role takers for joining me today and helping us to go about this meeting so smoothly. I thank Madam President Lyra Pinto for motivating me to take up this role as the TMOD for today. Although I was very nervous, I still am. Thank you to all of you for being such a wonderful audience. Over to you, President.
Thank you, Melora. That was wonderful. You are a magical queen this evening, and you made us believe in ourselves, and we'll do believe in ourselves and get better. Friends, now is the time for the results. Before that, I would like to congratulate every member. Today was a top-notch meeting. Everybody did their best. They excelled. It looked like, we are on the other side of the planet. So I'm just waiting. Yes, the results are come. The best role taker is none other than our smiling queen, the TMOD of the evening, Melora Pais. Congratulations, Mel. The best table topic speaker, can you guess? That is the guest of the evening, the much awaited member to be. I won't call him Toastmaster. I call him Master or Mr. Pavan Bhandarkar. Congratulations, Pavan. You'll get more. It'll be like Dil Mange more. Keep coming, attending our meetings.
For sure.
Thank you. The best evaluator is DTM Malini Hebbar. It was a very difficult thing. All were equally good. A difficult task for us to select, though. And the best speaker is yours truly. So, dear Toastmasters, I hereby adjourn the meeting, but please stay on. But officially, I close the meeting. Thank you, one and all.
I will stop.
Time for chit chat
as well.
I was so happy to meet Melora. First time I'm seeing.
Pais.
Okay.
And her mom is also my classmate. I think, on a junior to me, Jane.
I think
Jane,
so.
Jane, what was her surname?
Castellino, she was.
Castellino. Malini knows her. if you remember, she was Jane Castellino from Roshinilaya. Yeah, she studied in.
I know Lavina. Lavina is our aunt.
Yes.
And I
have a
know
question for
Ollie's wife, Pam.
It's not about your parents, but it's about
No, I'm saying like it's the connection. We were trying to see where we know.
No,
Because
I have a
Trisha,
question
we were looking.
for Melora.
Trisha's aunt again is my classmate, so it's a small world.
Okay,
Trisha, you are just wonderful. Trisha. Oh my
Congratulations, Melora. Congratulations,
I love
Trisha.
the topics, Trisha. They were beautiful, very nice.
She's always, even at that huge contest. Oh my.
Melora,
But when she gave that first
I
topic,
have
I was wondering what
Molly,
are
can
we
I
going
put
to
a
talk
question
about?
to Melora, Molly? 1 minute. I just want to know from her. She had a very smooth way when it came to showing the slides. Now, Bharati does it, and she told me that it is because of her iPhone or something like that. Am I right, Bharati? That she can iPad. She can directly go to the image without sharing the screen and all that. How did you also manage it the same way, Melora?
No, ma'am, I'm using a laptop itself.
Okay.
So I just opened the slideshow and kept it open as a slideshow, not as a PPT, as a slideshow. And then I just clicked on the share screen, it automatically goes to that slideshow.
I see.
So it doesn't show me anything else.
So you don't need to...
What computer do you use? What laptop?
Just the regular laptop, HP.
Once you click on that share screen, does it automatically go? It has to go to that.
So I get to choose which one. So I was just choosing that.
Oh,
the
but
particular
very smooth, Melora. It was very smooth.
Because we used to doing this in the school that I teach. So we're so used to working with this, sharing screens and all this, that it's getting a little smoother now when we are working with this. But otherwise, the laptop and all is the same.
For a bigger view, sharing screen, it's searching, that didn't come.
No, because I kept it all ready. Like I kept it open and ready. And every time I want to go to the next slide, I would keep it ready between the speeches and everything. So just kept it ready as a slideshow, not as a PPT, as a slideshow.
So must try the slideshow, escape slideshow, and then when we, from the meeting, we should...
Yeah, and then when you want to come back to your Zoom screen, you shouldn't hit escape again to come back. I use Alt and Tab, so it comes back to my Zoom screen. So there was no closing
I
the
was
slide.
just going to mention the same thing, Malini ma'am, that even I had done the same thing, where you just use Alt and Tab. I was just going to add that.
Alt and Tab.
And you keep
Alt Tab.
Okay.
So when you use Alt Tab, it automatically changes your screen, ma'am. And what we do is exactly like how Melora does it. I open the presentation and open slideshow. Like you start the slideshow.
Keep the slideshow ready.
So then when you hit Alt Tab, it directly goes to the slideshow. So it just transitions.
Okay.
Just a second, Malini, Zoom Master, you can stop away. You're still recording. I think you can stop.
No, actually, I stopped
recording.
It was on, Malini.